I have to look back at my over 20 years of experience as a journalist working from Delhi. I would have to pluck out an incident that happened to me in 2012 at the Sultangari area in Delhi. Why I want to talk about it is also because, during the Delhi riots, a lot of journalists had faced this whole heckling by Hindutva groups, and surrounded by 10-15 people, including women, and heckling, chased. And so something similar had happened to me in 2012 at the Sultangari monument, which is an ISI protected monument. At that time, I got to know that there were some 2,500 refugees, Rohingya refugees for the first time, had come to Delhi. They were setting up some tents and sitting down there. When I landed there, I saw this site, and there were some organizations, I think from some Muslim organizations from Delhi, trying to feed them. So I spoke to the refugees, where they came from and how they entered, and a lot of children and all that. So I clicked my photos, done all of that, and when I was just finishing the story, suddenly I find myself surrounded by about 10-15 men who seemed to be very angry with me, and they said that they asked me which organization I was from, and that time I was working with the Hindu, and they also said things like, you don't seem to look like someone who's from Delhi. Where are you from? Those kind of thing. They wanted to know my name, and also they said, things like, are you from the Congress? And that's after I said that I was from the Hindu as a journalist, and I asked them their identity, and at that time they said they were from the local unit of the RSS from Vasant Kunj area. Why I am talking about this is that for the first time I felt so intimidated while reporting a story in the national capital. They were very abusive, and they were they didn't touch me, they didn't physically attack me, but the whole shouting down me and all that, and speaking on top of each other, and surrounded by this kind of men, almost a mob, and I was a single woman there. So my only aim at that time was to somehow reach my car and scoot from there, which I did eventually. And then they just kept asking me, why do you need to do these stories, and you guys promote them and all. And my only interest at that time was to do a story of about 2,500 people coming from a neighboring country. But when I came back to office and I told my seniors and the editor, they decided to publish the story, and which got published in the Hindu at the time. And so this is something, when I look back now, so I look at it as one of the major incidents that has happened to me as far as intimidation in the national capital of the country is concerned. I myself has faced this, and so has all my colleagues in the wire, that whenever we approach a bureaucrat or in a government department or a ruling party politician, when they get to know that we are from the wire, they don't want to give you direct quotes. In 2019, I had covered a story from NCPCR, Child Rights Commission, and that time the minister was Smriti Irani. And I just did a normal story quoting some bureaucrats and the top, the commission head at the time. And the moment the story got published, I got numbers of calls from those officers, and who were in such a situation, they wanted the story to be withdrawn. And I asked, they said it is from the minister's office. They were very angry with us for talking to the wire. So it was a completely benign kind of a story, and it showed actually the positive side of the ministry, but yet they didn't want anybody from the wire to be talked to. So we approach a story from the other end instead of going to the government officials or ministers or to talk. We could take it from the other end and from the people's angle, and I always find that the people are a lot more welcoming to you. They want to tell your stories, and I look at it, the whole manner of the way they run away from us, the bureaucrats and the politicians and all from the ruling party. I look at it as a badge of honor. I feel actually extremely proud to be a part of this wire, I would say a movement in journalism, a new movement in journalism. And I'm very glad that we have a lot of young journalists. We are able to give them a platform where they can question the government of the day fearlessly. And a space which is, as you all know, is shrinking in India, and so that's where I feel that the young journalists who are working in the wire are actually a far better place today as journalists. If they want to be senior journalists, in a far better place than so many other places, than their counterparts working even in the national capital.